Greetings and welcome to turn 50 of AI Earth by your favorite psychotic super death. Um, to kind of reiterate, we got our city count leader with Washington at 6 cities. We have several people stuck at 3 cities currently with Pacau, Mansa Musa, who is looking like he'll be settling soon. Um, Julius Caesar, who is also marching a settler, but might get blocked by this random Ragnar settler. And then Wang Kong over here. Something that was a concern brought up is Aztec not having access to metals. Um, Besides their resourceless UU, they have copper here, and he settled up here for iron. I didn't go through the trouble of fixing every capital location to include every strategic resource within a reasonable chunk, just because of how AI occasionally settles anyway. And I didn't want to edit the map beyond creating pathways for us not to be stuck with 500 turns of one galley kind of invades. Because, for instance, if someone had chosen Native American, they would have started, I believe, right there or there. So that could have taken the copper, and it's just big pain in the ass. Anyway, um, also where we left off, we have our first potential war plot with Mehmed. Now, his worst enemy is Gandhi, as is pretty much everyone. In fact, he is the worst enemy of Mehmed, Catherine, Kublai, and Ramses, for whatever reason. Different religion. But, as others have stated, and myself included, I would probably put money on Mehmed declaring on Darius, just because peace weight and location here. So, let's continue our turns here until something interesting happens. Most powerful, we got Ragnar, and then surprisingly Gandhi. Just a lot of archers, because he hasn't got his copper yet. Or, oh, he went all the way for ironworking, so he has axes. Alright then. Ragnar keeping his settler there. Probably one of the few downsides to the map change I made where I connected this right here is Wing Kong is pushing around to go, I guess, connect this rice that isn't going to be feeding anything at the moment. There's a random archer here, but no settler. Oh, there's the settler. So it looks like he will be settling somewhere in this region, I would assume. Catherine is also at 6 cities now. Anyone else join the 6 city club? No. Alrighty. So, a bit awkward. He does settle there. There is still room for a city in this general area. Looks like Mehmed, out of everyone, is probably going to settle there. Um, really rough for Ragnar. Gets a settler just basically stuck here unless he gets open borders with some folks. Luckily, he's still making more settlers. No one's making a play for Iberia. Mansa Musa settled his fourth city. So, the only one stuck at 3 cities now, because Wing Kong also settled right there. I guess he didn't drag it all the way around. Is Pacau, which is to be expected. Meanwhile, Inca continues to ignore this lovely zero food city site for some future development. Oh, we got a second person plotting war with Suri. Also, while building the Great Lighthouse, he's got some settlers. He did found our first island city. He is, Mehmed is stacking units here, so I would probably put money on it. Luckily, Darius doesn't skip slavery forever. No one else joined the 6 City Club. And there we have our first war declaration with Mehmed on Darius. Depending on who moves first, it'll be 3 or 4 archers versus an axe, 2 chariots, and 2 archers. So I put pretty good money on Darius not losing that city. Great Lighthouse was built by Darius. Very good. And looked like he survived with only losing 1 archer. Not too shabby. Let's see here. Oh. Monty settled a 6th city. Pacau is still at 3. But he does have a settler running that way, while also building the oracle. Now, sadly for Mehmed, immortals are pretty good, especially versus AI. Did Mehmed not decide to settle up here? Where did Mehmed's settler go? Oh, there it is. Gandhi joined the 6 City Club. As did Suri, with another island city, picking up a fish. Ramses adopts slavery and gets the first great person, a great spy. Of course, he's making pyramids. A Huayna Capac. How do I actually want to say that? Just Inca. Inca actually settles a pretty decent city. Washington and Catherine. I don't know if I maybe missed last turn. If not, they both are now at 7 cities. Meanwhile, Pakal is still at 3. And I think I missed it last turn, but Oracle has been grabbed by Elizabeth. Pretty nice. And the mids were completed. Shaka and Mansa adopt Judaism, so we're having a nice happy circle down here, potentially. Yeah, Washington jumped up to 8 cities. Pacau finally hit 4. Settling right up on Inca here, grabbing the gems, despite there being a food resource up here. Mimig closes off the Arabian Peninsula, picking up a fish, copper, and sheep. Looks like he's diving in a little bit, but I don't think he has the capacity to just run him over with sheer numbers. So I expect them to eventually sign a peace. Let's see here. 30 still plotting. Yep, Wing Kong is worst enemy. It's a decent amount over here. Catherine plants a 8th city, joining the club with, I believe, that one. Or maybe not. Maybe it is. Must have missed it. My apologies. So we still got the same scenario here. Lots of units in I don't even want to try and pronounce that. If anyone knows a easier solution, unless I just dump a great spy in each place to be able to get all the graphs for everyone, please go ahead and comment it. Hey, Rome has taken control in Spain, it looks like. Elizabeth settler right here. Usually Hannibal likes to settle right there fairly early. Not wanting to settle for the crab, I guess. Catherine coming up to 9 cities now. She's getting pretty big. So at the moment we have Catherine at 9, Washington at 8, and then Kublai at 7, and the rest are at 6, 5, and 4. Very interesting. Well, Mehmed basically offered up 3 free archers to Darius for some XP. A little awkward. See, merchant units to go after that. Oh. Kublai is plotting. That's a bit more scary. Honestly, a bit surprised Monty's been a bit more friendly. Usually, by the time they settle these cities, he's not liking this. A lot of unit production by Washington. Still, no one has joined the 8 and 9 city club that America and Russia are in. We have 1 total war, and Darius is the first one to capture a city of Mehmed's, which looks like it'll be instantly recaptured, but still. Let's see here. Yep, instantly recaptured. Surrey declares war on Wangkong. A lot of chariots, but I think 3 protective archers in a city behind walls is going to just absolutely decimate that. So I don't see that going anywhere unless Kublai decides to also get in the action. But I could also see him, because he doesn't like Gandhi, could march in that way. Kublai does join the high club of cities, being second or third to 8 cities, with Catherine still leading the way. interesting. A signed peace? No, he just retreated without attacking. Don't see that happen very often. Kublai looking like he's just going to stomp his way in and settle middle China there. Ragnar kind of not really doing much. Does have a couple galleys filled. Would be pretty funny if he navally invaded. Still has a stuck settler here. Because he does not have open borders with anyone. Could pick it up, but we have our first great general born in Persia. Looks like the attack didn't go as well as Mehmed had hoped. Looks like just damaged the archers, didn't kill nothing. Three immortals. If that fourth joined, could probably break through that pretty easily. No one in the 10 club. Kublai hasn't settled yet. It's probably not going anywhere. Monty has some decent garrisons. Gandhi hits 8 cities, joins the club. Washington's kind of petered out, it looks like. Mansa Musa is plotting. While also has a settler? Where's he going with that? Mehmed and Darius signed peace. Washington is also plotting. Ragnar is plotting. Things might start to get a little spicy. Looks like a big attack happened here, and probably didn't break any units. Oh, these settlers, guys. There we go. the region. No one has hit the 10 city club yet, but I would put money on Catherine hitting it. Montezuma joined the 8 city club. Kubla Khan at some point hit 9 cities. Pakal is the only one still at 4, with a 5th city on the way. Let's see much troop movement here. Three settlers that Mansa has made but has not settled anywhere. He's kind of gotten locked in. I guess he could probably settle somewhere in there if he wanted to. Maybe there. If he really wanted to, he could plant there and try and mooch off the capital. Um, yeah, otherwise he's gonna have to hope for some help. Shaka isn't plotting, but Shaka's doing normal Shaka things with a bunch of units stacked in the city. I feel like there's a couple places that Shaka could probably settle by now, but maybe he's going to let Ramses settle all the way up on him. I think this would definitely be a great Egypt game if he had access to the peninsula here, but Mehmed shut him off. Interesting worker. Looks like Mehmed's going to settle the Arabian spawn. Round 2. With healed up units, no catapults. Yeah, I don't see that going much better. Looks like Darius is plotting. He's currently still has a peace with Mehmed, so could he be plotting on Gandhi? Hannibal declares. Ragnar declares. By God, he's actually attempting a naval invade here with swordsman, axe, 3 swordsmen and an axe versus 2 archers and a chariot. Be at least 3 archers probably, unless he attempts to just drop them right into it. With walls, I don't see that going very well. Cool. He has another galley coming. Very interesting. And then the other war was Hannibal and Egypt here. It's a decent little stack, but I think he has enough defenders. Very, very interesting. Got repealed again. Alright, so he dropped him off. There's still just 2 archers and a chariot. With some good luck, I could see that working. With an archer at half a health and a swordsman and axe, I think that's going to take it. Question is, will he be able to hold this city? Elizabeth also completes the Colossus. Going right for the jugular. Captured. Still just throwing units at it. I think Wing Kong retreated some. Yeah, there ain't no way that busted through a bunch. Not seeing where Kublai's potential death stack is. He ain't a death stack, but he is moving units this way. I could see him declaring, but it's definitely not going to be enough to just clear through that. But with both going up against him, Wing Kong ain't looking the best. Still has a good chunk of land to expand into. Question is, Julius Caesar is happy being friendly. Trireme's gonna hurt our good old Vikings. Right, he was at least smart enough to cross over. But yeah, that's not breaking through. And completely missed it, but Catherine is up to 11 cities with Kublai at 10. There's the war declaration. I guess if Wing Kong takes a bunch of units off, maybe that has a chance. 3 Keshiks and a chariot versus 2 archers and a spear. Doesn't have a good chance, but it's there. It'll be a little rough. Maybe you can get a peace treaty with Surrey down here. Still holds the city at least. Decided not to attack. Wang Kong does make peace. Looks like Ramses is slowly taking away any threat that Hannibal could have. Still so many settlers. He's finally settling his first island city here in the Caribbean. Well, he finally got open borders, so that settler went somewhere. Decent chunk of units there. Could probably march them that way, because she is pumping out the triremes. Looks like the Keshiks really just took out some random units here. They did not attack. Yeah, I like his odds a lot better now. It's just a 1v1, even if it is the Great Mongolian Horde. Russia continuing to do Russian things. Darius continues to make units. Is Ramses gonna counter-invade at some point? Who knows? Is Shaka ever going to actually declare war on anyone? Is Montezuma going to actually declare war on anyone? Stay tuned. There's a Washington scout in China right now. Ragnar continues to hold firm in, I believe that's roughly where the Netherlands spawns, I think right there. He has his own trireme. So at least the naval battles will be a bit more fair. Almost the entire world is either at war or plotting war. assembled another little stack here. He condenses all that together, you could probably take a city. Can't make catapults. Darius fights back, declaring war on Mehmed. No catapults. No catapults. He's marching down this way. I think that would have been the better choice to kind of cut off. But whatever. I think Ramses definitely has enough units that he could take any city there he wanted. Shaka is not at war yet, but he does have a stack going on the hunt. Any bets on where he's going? No real war being planned down here in South America. These guys are kind of just staring at each other menacingly. Gotta love AI. Does Ragnar have open borders with Surrey? With Catherine? Does not have open borders with Julius. I think as soon as he gets open borders with Julius Caesar, Elizabeth is going to actually have to either take or defend this area, because that is a good chunk of units. And it looks like, unless Ragnar gets real lucky, I think that's enough to break that. Especially without that archer being finished or walls. It's a good chunk of units there, Gandhi. Alright. Still no catapults in this stack. So, yeah, that's probably going to be just fine. Catherine's just happy to be settling and doing infrastructure, aka the MGMD build. that there's an archer in there and another archer completing end of turn. That city probably won't fall. Oh. Did Ragnar finally become friends with Julius? Yes, he did. So now we have a death stack without catapults. Heading into a Elizabeth. As she completes the statue of Zeus. Just to put more hurt on them. Still hasn't attacked. I'm guessing good chunk of it just backed off, and the rest were attacking unwisely some hilled units rather than just a city. I almost forgot there was a large stack of Shaka heading towards something. There it is. Great General there. And Great Engineer in Elizabeth. Looks like he will probably get it then. Or she will probably get it. Hastings has been reconquered. And Washington and Montezuma have finally gone to war on turn 92. Whoever is dumb enough to attack across whoever attacks first across that river is not going to have a great time. Neither of them build catapults. No. Not even has math, and it's on its way to construction. This continues to be a good old Middle East stalemate. Shaka is potentially attacking Mehmed, but probably more likely going for someone else. Very shocking, despite sharing religion here, and being opposite of, no, not opposite. That means discovered a religion. Never mind. And Ramses completely screwed up and did not take the city. Curving this way. So, based on that, I would have to assume he's going all the way over here to declare war on Darius. Which is interesting. Well, they both got a great general. I would assume that Washington made the great crossing of not the Delaware. But 9 cities to 11. Probably going to be pretty even unless one of them snipes some cities while the others are elsewhere. Wang Kong still holding his own, hasn't lost a city yet. The decently sized Ragnar stack is slowly making its way. Hannibal has made peace. Looks like Shaka will be joining the fight against Darius here. I don't think a bunch of archers are going to really sway that unless they get real lucky. Still got a pretty decently sized stack of got war elephants, we got catapults, but I'm not seeing a stack forming. Stack died. Stack forming. Border pop preventing Pakal's AI from trying to settle any farther, leaving the rest of this to Inca. Maybe the combined forces of Mehmed and Shaka will be able to take this city. Well, I don't know who moves first here, but I think even if all those units got in there, I think Ragnar wins that. Especially with reinforces kind of flooding in. Random catapults. Looks like he almost lost this city. Kind of a stack forming. They see each other. Looks like Washington's insisting on city attack upgrades for the most part. And Hastings has been recaptured by the Vikings. Pretty decent mega stack there, essentially. But is it enough? It was not. Maybe I just kind of left Shaka to hang out to dry there. But yeah, that did not go very well. Made peace. Yeah, that did not go well. Plenty of fight here between these guys. Now, sadly for Ragnar, not having catapults is going to really hurt him when Elizabeth has any defenders. Looks like he's 11 turns away, and Elizabeth will be hitting 1 turn away, so she'll potentially start making some war elephants, and that's not going to be a good time. Looks like we have a decent stack here with some actual catapult support. But Wang Kong also has catapults. His unique catapult. I mean, if obviously if that's not reinforced, it can fall. Yeah, with Mehmed kind of cock blocking Shaka like that. Yeah, I don't see Darius falling anytime soon. No clue if that's going to fire back up. Very, very interesting. Coming up on turn 100. Bunch of fighting. Looks like Ragnar did not totally suicide a bunch of units, but did enough. I could see him probably holding on to Hastings, especially with reinforcements flooding in. Yeah, smart. Did a culture. Should actually go over to that area. Yeah. So overview. We'll start from the top of the scoreboard. We got Catherine with 12 cities, leading in cities. Wing Kong is her worst enemy. She is plotting. Um, she has the general Russian territory, plus maybe a smidge more of where Germany would probably have. Has effectively cut off any hope of Ragnar going through the top here. Was stopped from continuing on by Kublai Khan, but has a nice gateway into the Arabian lands. We have a pretty nice stack forming right here. Now, whether or not that's meant for Kublai, more likely Darius, or if she doesn't really even know. But has yet to get catapults, so while that stack will take a city, I don't think it will continue on. Moving on, we have Elizabeth, who has lost a city to the Vikings yet again. Um, is doing very well tech-wise. Is the founder of Christianity. Has taken over the Isles. Has taken over most of France. And has kind of Portugal and Gibraltar. Which is usually a lot more land than she gets. Next, we have Ramses, who, despite getting kind of kicked out of the Arabian Peninsula here and not allowed to go any further this way, has very much outdid himself by going pretty far down here and blocking Shaka from expanding anymore. Also successfully defended against Hannibal, while also building a lot of wonders. As you do. Next up is Washington, who has successfully settled the Caribbean and Cuba. Is, of course, as per usual, at war with Montezuma. Montezuma did declare it. However, it is probably not going to be a quick war in any sense of the word. I believe it is likely to be whoever gets better military tech first. Washington, luckily, is not Lincoln, so he actually does build some military. Then we got Gandhi, who I believe founded either the first or the second religion of the game. The first, it looks like. Did not completely get all of the Indian subcontinent, but has gotten a decent chunk. Has not been in a war yet, despite being the worst enemy of, well, only, or no one, I guess, luckily. But has a pretty sizable military as well to back up whatever else Gandhi does. Next up is Kublai Khan, who has snagged Middle China here is currently at war with Wang Kong, and due to the vast amount of unit production in cities, along with catapults finally being in play, is probably likely to be the first to eliminate someone, if I had to guess. Unless our Troll King can find a way out of it. Next up is Suriyama Kimmer, who continues to settle the islands. Is the first to settle Australia. Earlier, declared war and smashed into the wall that is Wonsan, as you do. Next up is good old Monty. Crazy Monty does what Crazy Monty does and declared war on America. However, it took longer than usual. He did manage to, as also usual, kind of cut off Washington's expansion into the Rockies while taking all the juicy land that the natives usually get, and looks poised to be able to expand this way if he solves this. Mansa Musa got the usual cities, and then created, let's see here, huh, does the AI delete settlers? Anyway, had 3 settlers, but no clue where they went. Very interested to know if they delete. But yeah, got kind of stuck here. Luckily for them, it's pretty good land. Good old Inca is finally starting to get past the early game slump that is settling the Amazon before ironworking, and successfully cut off the slow to expand Pacau to claim the vast majority of South America. Troll King himself has settled bits and pieces of Japan, the Korean Peninsula, and got a chunk of China. Is sadly in its second war against one of the reigning superpowers of Kublai Khan. Stay tuned. Darius, who was involved in the first war, successfully punched back and survived Mehmed's dangerous assault, and then redeclared war on him later in revenge, and then got declared on by Shaka, and then managed to get Mehmed to take a peace deal and kept his city. Speaking of, here's Mehmed. Had not the best war declaration. Is not yet getting catapults, but has secured some pretty prime real estate. Could probably chuck in another city or so. But it's AI, so probably won't. up. Pacau. Usually one of the better leaders, but due to how the land is set up, um, for whatever reason, doesn't like to expand particularly hard or settle in a way that allows for really good city placement. So was the slowest to two and or slowest to 3 and 4 cities, I believe. Finally made it to 5. Might get a island city out of it. We have Rome, who took forever to settle their second city and third city, but has some pretty solid cities overall, and is poised to be able to intervene on any of Mehmed or Elizabeth if he so chooses. Shaka has grabbed the entirety of South Africa, minus roughly where Ethiopia starts. Um, for quite a while, didn't declare war on anyone, and then marched a stack all the way up through Egypt, and then declared war on Darius to join his Mehmed brethren, and then Mehmed just said, I'm not really feeling it, and let him basically suicide his stack into Darius. Hannibal expanded fairly quickly, and then kind of petered out, as you do. Did grab a random island city here, which will be nice to prevent an early death. Attempted to attack Ramses and didn't bring enough units or catapults. Almost lost his city here, but luckily got peace. And then finally, we have Ragnar, who launched a naval invasion with 2 galleys that successfully took Hastings from Elizabeth. Then finally got open borders with everyone so he can actually doom stack and doom walk his units. Now, he's on his way to construction, but he's also up against Elizabeth. So that'll be interesting. Thanks for joining.